Good evening, USA soccer fans and football fans, see, and AFL fans, worldwide fans, and any other place that I have fans or hope to get fans. Bobby Cardenas from Lancaster, California, in the house, along with my cohorts, my little nutcrackers, and Peter Dinklage, along with World Cup trophy. Right? Okay. Ooh, I've recovered from last week, the last post I made, with Real Madrid's embarrassing loss to Atletico Madrid in their derby. So, enough said. I covered that already. Let's move on. So tonight, first I'm going to give you results from the last 2 days, yesterday and today, involving the English Premier League games. 10 games total. 4 yesterday and 6 today. Spanish Copa del Rey yesterday between Barcelona taking on Villarreal. And today, Athletic Club took on Espanyol. So I'm going to give you those scores. Then I'm going to read you my own top 10 list of things that I find wrong said by TV announcers or on the pitch by parents or coaches in my experiences as a referee and a player. And finally, I will give you my opinions as to why the United States men's soccer program is in need of some retooling and some rethinking for us to get to the level of all the other countries. Not very difficult to think about, and we'll get into that later. Okay, so now, first and foremost, I'm going to wet my whistle because I'm going to be speaking a lot. Oh, I want to say a shout out to a friend of mine, Tony Engadal, who supports my posts. He and I have worked together in the business, show business, for 25 years at least, I think. He runs his own product placement company, Premier Entertainment. One of his products is Coca-Cola. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying that. I know these terms are weird to hear. Next time maybe I'll bring one out. Give one to Peter Dinklage. You can, a little soda, maybe a little Coca-Cola. Anyway, okay. So, let's go over the results real quickly. Yesterday, Liverpool at home, 3-2 versus Tottenham. It was tied 2-2. It was a great game. It was tied 2-2 until late in the game when Mario Balotelli, finally, Super Mario, comes off the bench to score a goal. He scored the winning goal for Liverpool. So now Liverpool is starting to climb back up the table. They're looking pretty good. And they didn't even have Raheem Sterling. He was out. I'm not actually sure whether he was injured or maybe Brendan Rodgers was just resting him. Who knows? I didn't do all my research. They didn't do it all. Sunderland at home lost to Queen's Park Rangers 2-0. Hull City at home beat Aston Villa 2-0. Aston Villa spiraling. Arsenal at home had a tough match against Leicester City. They went ahead 1-0. Leicester came back to tie them 1-1. In the end, Arsenal ended up winning the game 2-1. Today, Crystal Palace at home versus Newcastle. They drew 1-1. West Brom at home versus Swansea City won 2-0. Man United at home versus Burnley, who's at the bottom of the table. Man U won 3-1. No surprise there. Southampton at home drew to West Ham United 0-0. And Stoke City. Oh wait, the first few scores were from Tuesday. I forget today's Thursday. So these scores I'm giving you now were from yesterday, Wednesday. Stoke City played Man City at home and lost 4-1. Right now, I'm still watching Chelsea at home versus Everton. Don't know the score. And in Copa del Rey, Barcelona at home beat Villarreal 3-1. And as I said earlier, I have to watch the Athletic Club game versus Espanyol. Okay, so I want to give you my top 10 list, again, as I stated. The difference being that I only came up with 7. All right, so I didn't want to put too much thought in it, too much more thought rather than I already had. I didn't want to put front of my brain. Okay, look, my top 7 list as to the things that really annoy me, as far as what announcers might say about our sport, a beautiful game, or what I've heard on the pitch, and I'll explain to you why they're wrong. Number 7, at the bottom. I don't know if you can see. I hear this on the pitch all the time. That was offsides! Offsides! No, it's actually offside. Singular, not plural. That's a little one. Which I don't, doesn't really bug me that much, but just get it right. Okay. Number 6. This you hear from TV announcers. The referee did not give the penalty. Or sometimes they'll say the referee did not award the penalty. Let me inform you on something. Referees do not give penalties. They do not award penalties. They call for a penalty. They call a penalty. A penalty has just occurred, and they call it a penalty. It's not a gift, not a contest. Okay? They don't give them, and they don't award them. Here's another one from the TV announcers. That was a soft penalty. Well, in reality, there really aren't degrees of penalty. It either is or isn't a penalty. But I know what they're trying to say. That maybe the player helped himself fall down because he felt a little bit of contact, slightly, and maybe it could not have been called could not have been called a penalty, rather. So state that instead. Don't say it was a soft penalty, because if the referees called it a penalty, it's a penalty. If it's not a penalty, it's not, right, Dinklage? This is one of my, I hate this. Last man. You'll hear this on TV and also on the pitch live when people are screaming, last man, last. A foul has occurred against an offensive player by a defensive player. And what the people are really trying to say is that maybe it was an obvious goal-scoring opportunity where the referee should issue a send-off, a red card, for that infraction. An obvious goal-scoring opportunity. The key word is obvious. Who the man is, where he's at, has nothing to do with it. And anyway, what does last man mean? The last man who fouled him? The last man near him? Last man is the last person in the line, as far as I'm concerned. That's last man. The goalkeeper is also there. So don't use that term. It's confusing to people, especially friggin' TV announcers. Stop saying that. No such thing in our laws, last man. Number 3, unnatural position. They're referring to a player who's handled the ball. And the reason why this one upsets me even more is because it's actually used in the guide to referees. You'll find it here. You'll find that term. The player had his arm or hand in an unnatural position. Why do I hate that? Because everything we do is natural. What is it? You know what I would find unnatural as far as what a player would do? He goes up for a header, and his head spins 360 friggin' degrees around like The Exorcist, Linda Blair. That's unnatural. Everything else is natural. Don't say that. Just say that the player illegally handled the ball. He put his arm out intentionally. Quit using unnatural or not normal playing position. I hate those terms. Number 2, of course, handball. That's a friggin' handball. I just grabbed it and I held it in my hands. Handling. We've gone over this a million times. It's illegally handling the ball. You've intentionally played the ball with your hand or part of it. Or you put your arm in a position so as to contact the ball in its flight, in its path, right? Handling. It must be intentional. You turn around to go block the ball as it's being kicked to you. And you do this, and the ball hits your elbow. Nothing's happened. If you stick out your elbow, then you've handled it. But if it just strikes your, not handling. Forget handball. Okay. This one you'll hear on the pitch. My parents, coaches, I hear it all the time. It's moronic. Stop playing with the ball. How do you tell a child who's playing soccer that involves a ball to stop playing with the ball? I know what they mean. They panic because the players in the defensive zone, they want them to clear the ball. Well, then say clear the ball or kick it out or whatever. But don't say stop playing with the ball. How stupid is that? How moronic. You have to play with the ball to play football. All right, enough. Last couple of minutes. So what the U.S. needs to do as far as our program, besides obviously teaching tactics, getting our players in shape, obviously, by training, we have to allow our players to be creative and to learn to be creative, to learn to juggle the ball properly when they need to learn to overstep as you're dribbling like Ronaldo does. In other words, they have to learn skills so that they can become confident, so that when they're out on the pitch, they utilize these skills, not to show off or anything, but to play the game. We're far behind the Europeans and the South Americans in this regard. The Brazilians, they juggle the ball. They juggle it so that they can control it. They trap it, immediately juggle, boom, pass here and there. They're skillfully playing the ball with either their feet, chest, or head. We don't do that often enough, and we don't encourage it. We don't teach it. We have to. And there are a lot of players that can do that. I see it all the time out here in the Antelope Valley. Okay, this is going on a little long. Now, I must finish watching my games today. Ooh, commercial. And then I'll come back on the weekend. A lot of games the weekend. English Premier League, La Liga, everything. Okay, so. Hello, salud. Ooh, that's good. Asombroso is another plug, friend of mine. Asombroso tequila. I end with the famous bottle. Ooh, the shape. Ooh, a little glimpse. Don't get carried away. All right. Cheers. That's it. We say no to racism. And go USA!